Franklin McDermott was a blacksmith who worked in southern Mississippi alongside his brother Gray. Franklin looked up to Gray immensely from the age of 5 when his courageous older brother defended him against the ruthless Mafferty kids. You see, Franklin was meek, shy, and tossed around the fields as a weakling. The Mafferty kids took great pride in harassing, antagonizing, and belittling him to the point of wetting his trousers. The devil's children they were, and Franklin's only savior to the situation was his older brother, whom he looked up to the heavens with. Time and time again, Gray would save the little one by swinging his fist, tackling down his enemies, and threatening him with his deep, raspy voice. A big brute of a man, Gray took care of his brother because they were family. That is how the McDermotts lived. They did everything they could to protect one another. There was even one instance in which Gray took his father's whip from the top of the kitchen counter and gave the smaller Mafferty kid a lash on the back. Needless to say, Franklin considered himself blessed to have Gray as his guardian angel.
The McDermott kids grew up with a modest setting compared to the rest of their neighbors. Before the Civil War began, the family was able to feed their 2 brothers and 3 sisters, all very healthily, with a supply of grits, crackers, water, beans, corn, and wheat. Being the wheat farmers that they were never short in supply of some of the best bread in southern Mississippi. Many traders around the area complimented that their bread was among the best in the country. This was before the war, however.
His parents received a letter from the postman on horse who was en route that day. He showed up to the McDermott household with one letter stamped in the back with the seal of the newly founded Confederacy. As he handed the letter to the McDermotts, his smile slyly showed as to hint he already knew what was in the letter. The father proceeded to open the letter and found that he and both of his sons had been asked to join the Confederate Army. Mr. McDermott and his sons were ecstatic to be able to defend their side, and they gladly joined forces with the rest of the Confederate soldiers. What they did not realize was the death and violence they were soon to face.
The Battle of Shiloh is what this battle would become to known as one of the most important and significant battles of the Civil War. Lying at the Battle of Shiloh, Franklin had been shot on the 3rd series of gunfire. In an effort to drum along next to the soldiers, he tripped into some mud that wet in the night before the battle and was shot in the head with a musket BB. His brother saw him in the instant that he died. He cried and wept for his little brother, who was only doing his best to fight the Confederate cause.